What's up, everyone? This is Niyi Adewale, host of the Ekabo Home Financial Freedom Mastermind Group. This group meets virtually every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and the members of this group are committed to achieving financial freedom well before the traditional retirement age. So in this podcast, you are going to get VIP access to the conversations we have about different forms of investment and creative ways to get your dollars working harder for you than you originally worked to obtain those dollars. Deem, how you doing?
Oh man, just leaving the building. I missed the last 2 weeks. I just was busy.
Hey, come on now.
Look, you probably was thinking, hey man, you gave me my one-on-one. That was it.
I thought my man forgot about me. For real. Nah, man, it's looking real sunny out there, man. I can tell Philly, it's summertime now.
Man, I don't even get to enjoy it, man. I'm in the trenches right now, just going away. What's been going on with you?
Oh, things are picking up and I'm more busy than ever. I'm happy that we have this time set aside to talk about, real estate and connect, because I've closed on 3 properties now as an agent, which is awesome. I got my first listing that's going to close here within the next month. I think it's going to be like middle of next month. We're just looking at the final offers right now, and then we're going to make a decision. And then I have another client buying in June that we've already secured the property. So that agent business is taking off, which is what I want. But then my W-2 is taking off. So I've been running all over the place the past week. I've been traveling all over. I was actually with our guy T to celebrate his birthday last week in Denver.
I seen that.
which was cool.
That. Yeah.
And then the short-term property management, rental property management, last time we talked, I think I was managing 5 or 6. Now it's 8. Now I've got 2 more in queue. And so long story short, exactly what you said on your episode, which is, hey, it's all about teamwork. You don't need to be the person doing everything. I'm taking that to heart. So successfully signed 2 contracts with one person that you know, another person that you don't, but one person is going to be my maintenance manager now. Okay. We figured out the whole payment plan and all that. So I literally spent a good amount of time, having to handle different issues. All this water heater went out, whatever, right? 8 properties, short-term rentals. Now that can all get passed to him and he can handle all of that. That's perfect. And then the second person is a newer investor. They just purchased their first house, but is very interested in real estate and has a background that's similar to mine. And so she's going to be our guest experience manager, and she'll be the person, I'm going to train her up, but she's going to be like sending all the messages, communicating with the guests, the cleaners, so that I can just, have my monthly meetings with the cleaners, the cleaning team, have my monthly meeting with the guest experience manager, and a monthly meeting with the maintenance manager after we get everything tightened up.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, that's the way to go right there. Because especially when we just speaking on the real estate part, I was just sitting down and, I was being nosy while my girl was just, getting ready to close. And there was this girl, she had excellent credit. And, the interest rate was like 5% for her.
It's going up, man.
It went up.
It's going up.
I said, damn, it went up. So with that being said, it looked like it's going to be like a few more. I mean, it's like, whoo.
Yeah, and I get it. Tracy warned us of this, right? She said, hey, it's rising. They're doing this on purpose. And they're serious about it, man. They're trying to slow down this inflation. That being said, I look at this as still an amazing opportunity, because even if they slow it down, you're still going to get the normal appreciation. And then once we do have a pullback, 2 years from now, or whenever that happens, you can just refinance.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now. I supposed to close this Tuesday coming up. What's this, May the 3rd?
Yes.
May the 3rd.
Yeah, that's Tuesday.
Not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
This Tuesday.
That 3-store. Well, yeah, this Tuesday, right? We were supposed to close this Tuesday, but my partner, I guess he was shuffling around something to try to make it work. So on his end, so I never liked to delay a closing, but yeah, we had to go back to May the 3rd. So we're gonna go ahead and close out on that property, that 3-story property, and I'm trying to finish up. I got a buyer, not a buyer, a renter come in, and she's supposed to take the apartment on the 9th. So I just been doing all the little cute decoration with the lights and things like that. I actually just struggled on a 3D light. I don't even know why I even try to get all cute, but it's just I had to walk away from it. Sometimes you just gotta walk away from stuff. Like it was just I lost the instruction manual, and it just from there it just was it was a different ball game.
It wasn't
So
any YouTube videos or how-tos
it
on that.
was, but it was, and I put everything nice and bracketed up. It was nice. I cut on a light. I didn't even test the light, but it's fine. You know, it's just one of them things. But yeah, so we got somebody coming in on the 9th. I'm trying to get that done. Negro, I just got my outside done. Just like I said, I'll outsource somebody to do my vinyl and to do a little finishing touches, so that way I could be on pace and to try to close out both of these properties leased by in full maybe in August, maybe, or that's overestimating it. And then that way I could just focus on a new property, the 3-story, and try to swing that.
Perfect. That
And
is amazing. And is this the 3-story we talked about a couple weeks ago?
yeah.
So you're closing, man. And what's your game plan on this one?
I told you, like, the first thing I'm doing, why these races still kind of like where they at. Like I said, I had, I got to consult with my partner because I'm really going whatever he feel comfortable, because I want him to feel comfortable in the deal, but I'm going to kind of steer him in a direction to we're gonna go ahead and get the appraisal. We're gonna go ahead and get that up to par, and then just legally zoning it to a triplex, so that way we can go ahead and try to get the appraisal up to 500,000. You know what I'm saying? Pull that money and just use that as a stepping stone to go into another project. I just got to check with it. I just got to get him comfortable with borrowing, because he like me at one point in time where he just want to stay away from the financing. But I've been just talking to him, just take advantage of this, and his money more tied up in in this where he can't make another move, and I'm just trying to tell him how to free up a few more moves, or even just a security nest. We're gonna take ours up front, you know what I mean? We're gonna take our 30-year profit up front, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
but I'm just trying to get him around, but I let him take the lead. Like I just said, I'm not pressing. Whatever make him feel comfortable, and I just want him to have a good experience with it. So I'm really more like, whatever.
And it's one of those things where you got to get comfortable stretching that risk muscle, right? Because to you and me, it's like, okay, 30-year loan, it's getting at a low interest rate compared to inflation. Like you're getting this locked in. I can take this, right? But to somebody who's coming in first time, to your point, there's a lot of nerves. You probably got a million people in your ear telling you, hey, do you really want to do this?
Yeah, it's not his first deal. It's just that it's a philosophy you go by. Like he got about 5 buildings or 6 buildings, but they all paid for. So it really ain't, it's not his first pile. He definitely um, ahead of the game. But he just come from that school of thought that, he like to, balance his books out the right way. And I was like that for a while. Like I said, I was like that for a while, but I just, I was dealing with a few of my friends, and I just tried it, and I like it. So, but yeah, he in the game. He got about 5 or 6 stones, and he to the point where, like I just said, it takes a lot doing that. Everything's out of his pocket, so it's like he a hit, yeah, but liquid cash, he like a little strapped right now. So, but it's just a philosophy, to be honest with you. Everybody got different philosophy on how to just navigate in this game. But that, like somebody told me, what good is an equity and equity in your home if you're never going to use it? You know what I mean? So that's what separated. I just told him, don't be afraid. But I'm gonna try to steer him in that direction. But if not, like we got a house paid for, it won't be no pressure. It won't
True,
be no pressure. So.
true.
Yeah, I'm
And,
real
and
easy going. I think I'm gonna be the easiest partner, like ever. Like I just so laid back. People like so laid back. I'm like, yo, whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be.
and for me, like I'm similar when it comes to partnerships. Up front, there's a lot of conversations, right? And then we put everything on paper. And then after that, it's pretty spelled out. So like with the flipper I work with out here, you'd be surprised that it's not like we're talking every day or anything like that. I'm letting her do her thing. You know, I'm like, hey, whatever. I'm just coming to take some update videos so I can make sure that the investors know what's going on. But aside from that, she's doing her thing, making sure the whole place comes together. And then we come back at the end and get this thing sold.
Yeah, I seen the pictures that you post on Instagram. I was like, okay, he's staging it. I like that. It was
Hey,
real
come
good.
on
I said
now.
I gotta start. I said I gotta start staging my properties. I think I was talking to somebody and I was giving them a piece, you know, because I don't be you know, I don't let everybody know everything. So I'm like, you know, based on this, asking questions, and they like, where your pictures at and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, you know, I don't have none. You know, I'm just telling you, like, but they was just looking at me like, whatever, man. Like, yeah, they like, whatever, you don't got nothing. I'm like, oh man.
Hey, if it ain't in the gram, man, it didn't happen. You know, if it ain't in the
Huh?
gram, it didn't
Yeah,
happen.
I'm like, man, I'm just getting the ground, but I actually got. I'm gonna start posting a lot of my properties and a lot of work that I'm doing, and I got like a ton of photos, so I'm gonna start doing that, and you know, just for I don't know, yeah, I'm just gonna start doing that. So
The
I
main
got
thing
a
is
lot of
consistency,
photos.
man. Literally,
Yeah,
like I'm posting so much and stuff, and I finally convinced my flipper friend to start posting. She's posted a little bit, and it's what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You're doing the work, and a lot more people need to see that, right? Because what we do see is a bunch of influencers posting stuff that aren't actually in the trenches getting stuff done, right? And it's like, okay, they're posting so that you can come to a webinar where they're going to charge you X amount to teach you something. It's like, nah, I'd rather, see Rahdeem do it in the field and then maybe reach out and be able to ask some questions.
yeah, no doubt. That's why I said I normally like I had that mentality. Like it's crazy how mentality is. You know, a lot of people sometimes they just want to check in. You know, they just want to check in, see what you're doing, and sometimes you don't always want to expose your hands. You don't always want to expose your hands because sometimes, you know, especially when you're living around a lot of people, that's probably not in a situation. It might not always be wise. But on the other hand, you know, there's a lot of people who, you know, don't even know what you're doing and won't even ask you a question. And you can't even help them out just because you like kind of like guarding the information because you want to live with the people and you don't want to seem like you're different. So I'm recognized. I always been aware of that, but I just gotta you know just reach the people who I can reach.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So
And once you get started, it's
that's
all
how
about
it is.
that consistency, man. That was a lot of the reason for the podcast launch this year is, hey, I realize, it's going to take a while, or it could take a while before a lot of people are listening or getting value from this. But if you start building the content now, a year from now is when you're going to see the results, when random people are going to reach out to you, and it's already happened, and want to know more, want to work with you, and or become a partner in the future. You never know how you can meet that person. And in the world we live in today, especially since COVID, having a presence online is more important than ever.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, I think after I goes out on this deal, I was warming up to the idea, just going on the road. And what I mean by going on the road is just getting out of Philadelphia to invest in in other towns.
Deem, I may be biased here, but Atlanta, man, ATL,
I know
top
it's they.
city.
I know that's all I hear is Atlanta. Like I said, it's funny because we got this joke. We say everybody say I want to get out of Philly, right? So everybody go to Atlanta. So we be like, Atlanta is like the new Philly. Like it's like what's going on? Everybody just going down Atlanta, like dropping everything that black excellence.
Absolutely. And literally, so it's crazy. I have four of my former teammates. I didn't even know this until a couple of weeks ago, but four of my former teammates, and I've met up with all of them that I played football with at Temple. All these guys either came from Philly or Newark or Camden or somewhere like Jersey/Philly, and they all live in Atlanta now. So so we've been hanging out, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so you're right, man. There's a lot of people moving down from Philly.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot, but I'm gonna navigate it when I think I'm gonna do it. Like I just said, I know I'm gonna do it. It's just a matter of me just spreading your wings, so to speak. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that. It's just like now, like I said, I got my first kid coming, so actually we trying to upgrade into another house, so we trying to figure that out too. So
Hey,
it's a lot of
congrats, man.
it's a lot of like now I'm just thinking differently. Like now we thinking schools, I gotta go to different districts. I'm just trying to be a compromising partner. But we just trying to buy some stones where like we both can utilize right now.
So that's awesome. First and foremost, congrats, man. Seriously, and that's amazing. And yeah, I guess so. You're looking to stay in PA though, or around that with family and things like that.
I mean, to be honest with you, man, at this point in time, sometimes a phone call just to, I don't need to be around family. Before, I just wanted to be around family a lot, but, sometimes, maybe like an hour within there, nothing too far from. So, Maryland, I was looking at Maryland. I like what was going on down there, that quietness. But once again, I just got to just figure out where I want to go at, where I want to go and live and just settle. I'm a pretty calm guy, but, I'm just Philly to the core, so I just got to get out of that. Like I really love. I'm not one type of person say I want to get out of Philly. Like I love it, but I just know, change is, even good.
Hey, come on now. It took, so I was the same way about Nashville, Tennessee. I was born and raised there, T's from there as well. And, when we moved to Philly, when I was 12, that was a rough move. It was like, why are we leaving everybody, all my friends, all this stuff and whatnot. And for the first year, it was just fish out of water, trying to figure it out. Like, for example, in Nashville, you're walking down the street, you say hello, right? You say what's up to everybody. In Philly, you say that, people think you like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
something
yeah,
wrong with you. Like, hey,
yeah,
what's
yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You gotta have the mean mug on. So it took a
yeah,
little while to adjust, right? But after that move, it made the subsequent moves so much easier. From there, I knew, hey, I could move anywhere and make friends and be happy. Like I knew that. So I moved when I had an opportunity to move to Chicago with my company, I did it. And I love Chicago. Chicago's in my top 5 now. And then I moved to Louisville, Kentucky. That wasn't really a choice that I thought was ever going to happen, but I moved there for the opportunity. And now I have properties in Louisville. Then it was Boston, now Atlanta. And I've realized, hey, this is the city I want to kind of build in. But long story short, those moves help because you realize you could really thrive anywhere.
yeah. And like I just said, it's just like I said, me new is sometimes necessary. And like you just said, you just expand and meeting different people that can just give you a different aspect. Like I'm talking to my friend, he played basketball in Australia, and I'm like, how is it out there? He like, man, I love it. Said he said, I don't even think I'm coming back to the country. And it was just like, I was like, man, when everything let up, I'm gonna come out there and see what you're talking about. I mean, it's
And
just a
Rahdeem,
different
that
way.
that may be partly because Australia wasn't letting anybody in or out. He might be trapped there, but we'll
Oh
figure that
yeah,
out.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
figure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't know that. Yeah, I knew we had a little issue. I was trying to get the shea butter over there, but they was talking about it might didn't come through. So, but we had to ship it somewhere else, and then other stuff came in. But yeah, it was it's there, but I just like experience like that, and I'm just just weighing the option. It's just like.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and two things. One, next week we're going to be joined by a good friend, the person that actually painted this Kobe, which I'll text you a picture, Kobe picture that I have hanging like as soon as you walk in the crib, and he's into like creating artwork and selling reprints, and he does it like he stayed at this crib probably 3 or 4 times every time he comes in Atlanta because he's doing a bunch of events around here. But this dude is dope. He's been pictured and featured with for Colin Kaepernick's page. He's met Drew Brees. He's met a lot of different athletes. But long story short, he's really good at that digital marketing and growing a business online. So I think there may be some nuggets for Rashay Butter in there from an online perspective and how to use Facebook marketing and all that stuff for a physical product. And so that's one. And two, we haven't talked about it in a while, but the event space that you were working on, like the conversion, is that done now?
No, it's like it's going to be done. Like that's going to be all within the time frame of August. Just walking out everything, just trying to figure out actually, what I'm doing. Like I actually like me just talking to different people and just getting ideas. Like me just brainstorming a little bit. It's just like people use spaces now for podcasts. Just to do a podcast. I was talking to one of these community leaders where we might do a little after school program with that space instead of just trying to rent it out. So I was asking questions on maybe just how to maybe get grants and funding, but they said that it was a little tight. But it's a lot of, it's a different, it's just so many different ways I'm going to go about it. But I just got to see what's going on, because I was looking for event space actually for my baby shower, and they charging like 1,300 for like 3 hours, man.
13 for 3
4 hours.
hours?
Like 400 for 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. I'm like, damn, that's how they doing that, and they ain't letting
Dude,
up.
it's a lot. Like, so what I've been doing, and you bring me to a point. So I'm listed all my homes on Peerspace and Gigster, and the ones in Atlanta, and I've been getting hit up. And it's probably because of what you just mentioned. If it's 1,300 for 3 hours, I can only imagine for 8 hours how much that's going to be. And so people have been hitting me up because we have it listed there, and then they also need a place to stay. So I just had my first Peerspace / Airbnb stay like a couple of weeks ago. And this person paid, I want to say, I charged them about 600 extra on top of the nightly rate for like I think it was like a 4-hour event in the backyard where they had, like 20 people tasting food. And so, you just supersize what you're going to make, over that 2-day period. I think I made like 1,100 in 2 days because of that. 500 for the stay, 600 just for the event.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely in there. So I'm leaning towards that way. I'm leaning towards that way, the money play. So a lot of my decisions though never been really based on the money, but it's just a feeling. So, but I think this time I'm gonna go lean towards the money just to see how that process works. Just lean for the money, but yeah, it's gonna be all right. Let me ask you a question. I know I see every time they talk about that insurance, man, your eyes light up.
You
You
talk
know
about
what I
the life
mean?
insurance stuff?
Yeah. I see your eyes light up.
Yeah,
So
it's because it's something that I've heard about a while, and I'm actually trying to bring another person on that'll give a different opinion, because I'm trying to figure out if I really want to go down this path of getting life insurance and using that to invest in things. There's some people that will tell you that the companies, that end in mutual, I'm not going to name any of them, but the end in mutual, right, are only getting paid, they're incentivized to get you to buy their own stuff, right? They're only getting commission off of that. Other CPAs can look at, or financial advisors can look at, hey, would an index fund be better for you? Would a 401k, all that stuff, right? So I'm trying to figure out if life insurance needs to be a part of this. What are your thoughts? And do you have life insurance?
yeah, so actually I know I be talking like I took the state exam, so I'm actually authorized to sell life insurance. So I kind of like work, yeah. I work for like Primerica, so that's the term difference. So I got into that about a year and a half ago because I was just buying policies. I didn't really understand it. Like I would get something with State Farm, like I had 2, 3 different policies, but I always hear like people not getting paid out. Like, so I'm just trying to figure out where the money coming from, how this thing work. So I said, let me just, it's funny. I was on Instagram and they recruited me, so to speak. This guy that I work with down at the school, he quit, he quit the school and he said, yo, this is what we doing, X, Y, and Z. So they was like, yo, we'll pay for you to get your license. Just come on and sell. So I mean, I aced it, and I aced it, took it, but got certified in it. And one of the things that got me was, it was term. So pretty much they were just saying, take advantage of the term and invest the difference. So I sell term insurance. Like you really can't like borrow like you can do with a whole life. But one of the things that opened up my eyes was annuities and how we able to get a life insurance policy for almost like 300,000 for almost less than 80, 90, depending on your age, of course, and thing. And the money that you will be buying 60, 70, $80, you're investing in an annuity or something like that, and over the term of your life. Let's say I mean, 9 times out of 10, you want to outlive your policy, your term policy. 9 times out of 10, they do their research. They know what they're doing. But when you 60 and you slow down and you outlive your policy, is almost like, what you gonna do now? You done put in all this money. What do you do now? So if you've been investing in these annuities, maybe these safe annuities that accrue over time at a 5%, 6% interest rate, something like 70 or 80,000, $80 a month can look something like 200 or 300,000 when it's all said and done. 60, 70, tax free. How they move in. So that's what I've been kind of doing. But like I just said, initially, I just wanted it because a lot of people around me was just either getting shot, and Black people, they just didn't really, in my community, they just don't, there's too many fish fries, people struggling to come up. So I just really wanted to take it and sell my friends some insurance and know that they come to me because I got the information. But what I found out is, our company, not all companies, but our companies is a lot. Like, people with felonies was getting denied, people overweight getting denied. Like, it was a real, it was a lot more to it than just, than what I expected. But, you got to have it though. So I got a whole life policy though.
You got a whole life or term life?
I got both.
You got both? Okay.
I got 3. So I got a return of premium with State Farm, and that means all my premiums that I pay if I outlive my policy is 100% returnable.
When you outlive your policy, but go ahead,
Yeah. When I get all everything that I put out, so they probably make their money off putting your money somewhere, parking it. You know how they do.
Of course.
But that's a good one. You can't lose. You're getting all your money back, and if not, you just able to recoup your funds. Now I got another whole life policy, and one thing that I kind of know about whole life and me just doing it is doing my research. A lot of times in whole life, they know you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, they know you're going to pay out. So it's going to be a lot expensive. But what they may do is, you may have $100,000 policy, but 60% of that might be accidental, and you might only have 15 or 20,000 for burial, but it may be lumped up, and you thinking that you get 100,000. So sometimes when people say, "Hey, I didn't get paid out," it's like, what we consider an accident is not necessarily what these people are thinking is an accident. You might think, "Hey, I was in a car accident. It was that's an accident, an accidental death." But a lot of times that's not the case. But I definitely have a whole life one. And one thing that I do like about that is I got with a mortgage insurance through it. So if something ever happened to me, my mortgages, how many loans that I take out, I'm covered for it. So on top of my benefit of my death, my death payout, I'm covered on that. But if I got kids or nephews, whoever live my beneficial, they never have to worry about my mortgages because I'm paying into that.
See, so what you just explained is pretty incredible. And I like that last one that you just talked about, right? The putting me in mortgage insurance, because I didn't even think about that. I actually bought a house during the pandemic off of somebody who was being the executor for their uncle who had just passed away. So they didn't know what to do with the house. They're paying a mortgage. They're like, "Hey, I'm trying to get out of it." So that makes a lot of sense. But I saw something on Instagram that it was a video, right? Similar to how you saw something. And it talked about term life versus whole life. And it was right after we had that call, last week with the CPA professional or CFP professional. And so what it was talking about is, and it made sense to me then, is term life versus whole life. The reason you're paying a lot less in term life is because it's only until you hit a certain age. And most people, you're right, 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to need it. Right, which is awesome. And the reason you have whole life and it costs so much is because they know they're gonna have to pay it out, almost regardless. But the way they make their money is by, just like how home insurance makes their money, right? It's by not paying out on premiums and being very, having fine print for, hey, well, if there's a flood or water comes through, then that's not our fault. We're not going to pay, that type of deal. But the logic this person was saying was that, hey, you should go with term life if you don't have any morbidities and you're pretty, normal, because over this long period of time, you're going to be building up wealth. If you invest the money that you would have put into a whole life term into just an index fund and you're getting 7-8% every year, you could access that money at any time, borrow from yourself without paying yourself back. And you have that money. It's just, if you don't make it to the end of that trip, right, then you have something with the term, if that makes any sense. The term life will cover you.
Yeah.
As opposed to
why you getting it? Why you mad? You pretty much, we got this. Is this saying that we say in our company? It's like, this your last love letter to your family. This your last love letter. So they say, what is retirement? Right? They say, what age you want to retire?
Me?
Yeah.
Hey, like next year. But no, I want to retire. I want to retire in full transparency. I don't know that I ever retire, but I want to retire from W-2 work within the next 2 years.
Yeah, so pretty much that, that's kind of like a trick question, because they saying like, retirement is not a number, is what you comfortable with, because if you made 30-40 million dollars today, 9 times out of 10 you probably won't work as hard. I mean, some people will, but it's more of a number, it's not an age.
True.
And you just is really there. They got so many insurance. They got dismemberment insurance. It get really tricky, but for the sake of, like I said, I know a lot of people who just, they utilize the whole life just because they able to borrow. So they may say this, right? And it was kind of alluding to what they were saying. If you have your insurance company, and I've been, this all hearsay and stories, right? I never did it. I never went in there, but I know a guy who tell me firsthand that, instead of me kicking out 80 or 90,000, he'll put it in a whole life. And like 90% or 92% of it is available with him that day. Now the thing is, now of course you're gonna have to pay interest and things like that, but you cover it while you're doing it, So if you got a $200,000 policy and you don't make good on it, they'll just deduct it back, like minus but you cover. But the thing is, you don't have to go through no process. Like, you can't get denied because you don't have a high credit score. You don't have this your money, like this there. You just using this money. So opposed to where we may put 60 or 70,000 and then go to the bank and get a loan on something, they're gonna look at our credit score. They're gonna see how creditworthy we are, and they're gonna be getting interest rates sometimes way higher than what it is. Meanwhile, if we borrow from ourselves in our whole life, it's still working for us in our favor, and you don't need no requirements. You don't need no job. You don't need a lot. So people use that as another strategies. People have 2 or 3 and don't care. They'll just keep hopping back and forth.
Yeah.
And then people do it. It's just another strategy too, that actually being exposed, through this year with the pandemic, man. A lot of information just been being shared, and it's a lot. This is how we see how the wealthy really just got ahead. Sometimes they just, they'll get a $2-3 million policy when they 5 years old, 6 years old, or their mom had it, and it could be a start. We only need a start opportunity. You only need one opportunity.
Literally, it's when they talk about that compounding interest. So, and this is what we talk about even before, right? When you say, hey, somebody's starting with a leg up or multiple legs up, the reason they're starting with that leg up is because we're just trying to survive, right? Half of our parents, really most of our parents, were just struggling just to get food on the table. They weren't thinking about, hey, how do I set my kids up for, financial freedom, early age, and not working, things like that, because that wasn't available to them, right? It was so many restrictions. We were just now starting to get open. And with other groups, right, I've noticed that you'll see, hey, a college fund set up. To your point, you'll see a savings account that has money in it. And now that I've come full circle and reading up on a lot of this stuff, do you do any index fund investing like Vanguard?
No, like the only I used to have my W-2 job. They used to manage it for me, and it was doing good for a while. But I think when that recession hit the first time, like I lost a lot of, well, pretty much all the money they matched me with, and then I took it out, and then I just been getting back into, the annuities, just doing it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I do dollar cost averaging, and I've been doing Vanguard for the past 4 years, and over the long run, it's going to go up and to the right. There's going to be some pullbacks and things like that. But one thing I would love to do for any kid that I have, right, is to one of two things. Either one, open up a Vanguard account and it doesn't even have to be a lot. It'll grow over time. Put it to match the S&P 500 and just do $100, a month or something like that. That just automatically transfers over and gets invested. And over time, by the time they hit 18, they're going to have a lot of money in there, right? For college or whatever business venture. Or the other thing that I heard on a podcast is I may want to buy a house, right, for my kid and just put it on that 18 and a half year note, right? And, pay for the house, have it taken care of, tenant to pay for the house. And at the end of that note, it's the kids. They can either, pull that money out, refinance, sell the house, continue managing it, whatever you want to do. But I've been thinking through that as well for the future.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny too, because we had a system, right? Me, and my significant other, right? So we match each other every week, right? And then at the end of the year, we double it. We come up out our pocket where we saved the whole year and then put it in there. And it's crazy. Like, it's just out of our pockets. It's not in there, but it's there. Like, now we're going to transfer. Now me just getting more knowledgeable with these annuities and how it works. We're going to start to transfer it over. We're going to start to transfer it over. But it kind of threw a monkey wrench in my program when they start talking about Bitcoins and all these other ways to kind of like invest. Because now even Cash App, they say, do you need to accept Bitcoin or stock? You never looked at your Cash App lately?
I use Venmo. I haven't really used Cash App like that.
Yeah, I mean, I got Venmo, I got Apple Pay, I got Cash App, but it was real interesting. I'm like, damn, do I want to accept this money in stock or Bitcoin? And it's just like, damn, it's really taking over.
Yeah, it's booming,
So
man.
it's just everywhere. But man, it's like you just said, man. It's all about the how we save money so we can get into that investment part. Because if we could save our whole life, but if we ain't putting it nowhere, somewhere
Dude,
down the line, we gonna lose.
especially now, it's getting eaten up. When you look at 9% inflation, they said last year, or 8%, something like that. If you got a 2% increase, you just lost 7%, right? You just lost. If it was in the bank where they were giving you 0.07 or 0.7, you just lost, a good portion of the money that's in there. So to your point, we got to earn this money and then we got to invest it as much as we can.
And like I said, you know what? And one thing I know we about to get cut off pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for the pandemic and the government giving out this money, I'd be selling life insurance, and you'd be surprised how many people just don't even have a regular checking and banking account.
Mm-hmm.
And it was alarming. It's alarming. Like, I'm like, look, I'm like, if it wasn't for the stimulus and the money going in accounts faster, people wouldn't even have a simple checking and saving account. You know what I mean? They're not even introduced to the world. And it was just, we got to just, like you said, it's more education. It's not that they don't even want it. It's just they like, how, and it's just like, there, everything is like, we was having this conversation about private school or public school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the fence because I'm like, yeah, private school, got it benefits because, you might know people, they can put you in position. But I said, from the educational part, if we do a good job with just teaching our kids just how to read, even if they learn how to read, after that, it's just exposure. Because once you read, you can just start picking things out. You know what I'm saying? You can analyze things. Reading is that important, but once it's put in front of you and you understand the language, then you can just make it. You know what I'm saying? Because
True.
with the internet, it's almost like it's impossible not to get the information if you don't. You could just read. You can read, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And to your point, we just got to continue to have these conversations and educate each other and kind of go from there. But Rahdeem, I got to jump. But it's
Yeah.
good seeing you back on again, man. I thought you forgot about us. I was like, hold on,
Yeah, yeah. I
where's my
got my
guy
2 minutes. I got my 2 minutes of fame, man. And then
at?
no, no.
Nah, I'm
I
messing,
just
man. I
I've
know.
been I've been fasting. So like I've
Oh
been
yeah.
fasting. Yeah, I've been fasting. And when it comes down to 7 o'clock and around sunset, I be breaking my fast. So once I get preparation like that, and I be really tired because I've been working on this fast, but I look up and I be like, man, damn, I missed it. It'd be too late.
Nah, it's all
So
good, man. Hey, we strive it in every area of life. I
mm,
love that spirituality is not taking a back seat. And
mm.
nah, man, let's keep it going.
Yeah, you look tired, man. You gotta get some rest, man.
I know. Hey, I've been running
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah, I see it. You look. I said, man, he tired, man. Look, I'm
I've
like
been
that,
running.
but huh?
I've been running just like you, man.
Yeah, man. You know, it get real when you just make sure you get some rest, man. Like I said, as much as this some advice and there's some advice that there, and this one of the things that I'm just kind of like getting a handle on it. Get yourself, you know, as much as we running and we trying to do business, get your sleep in. Get what you can get while you're awake, but when it's time to sleep, get your sleep. It's just more important, man, because you they just doing research where it's just saying a lot of people are sleep deprived and we chasing too much of our dreams trying to make it. We're gonna make it, but make sure you get the appropriate amount of rest and just take it like that. You know, it's don't stress yourself out.
Dang, I needed
Yeah,
that, and I
yeah,
appreciate that word
yeah.
because literally I get told that by my significant other on a
Yeah,
consistent basis. I do need to relax at night and just sleep.
get some rest, sleep, man. Rewind, so that way you can have your battery charged for the next day. Because when you operating half off sleep, and sometimes you're not as creative and you're not as sharp. So just get some rest and just know it is another day. You know what I'm saying? So we I don't know what people's philosophy is, but I think I know I'm at least gonna live to 90, and that's
Hey,
how I'm
come on
living.
now. Same here, man.
Yeah, yes, yeah. So that's a long time. So we'll make up ground. So don't do it. When it's time to grind, definitely get it done. But for the most part, coast and focus on some of the things that money can't buy, man. I mean, because we mess up a lot of relationships, chasing our goals and doing a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of strings. So just have that balance. Well, you pick and choose your balances, but yeah, man, just sleep, and